Schools rugby is where exceptional talent is born. From William Webb Ellis to Tyrese Johnson Fisher, schoolboy rugby has helped grow the game to where it is today. But which top school has helped create the best talent? I'm Will Stace from Young Rugby, and here are the best products from each top school in the UK. Do note that to be considered for the category, the player must still be playing or involved in rugby in some capacity. Starting with Sedbergh, a school that prides itself on its rugby talent in recent years. The cream of the crop, in my opinion, is Cam Redpath. The Scottish international hasn't had the finest 18 months, having been riddled with injury, but when fit has starred for Bath in the centres, earning a call-up to the Scotland squad to be a part of the famous England victory back in 2021. A bright future ahead for Cam, I'm sure. Millfield now. Another school littered with rugby talent. Jonathan Joseph and Adam Hastings were both close to making this list, but on a technicality, as he is still playing sporadically over in America, Chris Robshaw takes his spot. The former England and Quins captain, who has led his national side more than any other player in the professional era, is still an infamous character within the most recent England rugby era, for many reasons of course. Still, an incredible player with a lot of pedigree. Clifton College. Again, a fairly new graduate from the school, Ian Lloyd. The Bristolian hasn't had to travel far to find a Premiership club, having been snatched up by the Bears straight from school. Playing 10 for Clifton, similarly to Sam Worsley, who may end up on this list in the near future. Lloyd has found a place across the Bristol back line, starring most recently on the wing. Brother Jack has also made the same route and joined his older brother at Ashton Gate last season. Wellington now. This inclusion may slightly bend the rules. I must give an honourable mention to Max Laheath, who went to Wellington College and now packs down for Bristol alongside his bonkers interviews and social media. But I've given this space to James Haskell. Now I know he doesn't play anymore, but as we all know, he's still very much involved in the sport, for better or worse. That is up to you. Nevertheless, the Lions-capped England international had an excellent career, mostly at Wasps in the Prem, with a small flourish at Saints to finish. Although his opinions and actions off the field may cloud people's thoughts of Haskell, you can't doubt his ability on the pitch. Harrow. Now this one was fairly straightforward. Two honourable mentions of Billy Vunipola and more recently Henry Arundel, but it's Mario Itoje that takes his place. Arguably one of the best locks, if not players, in the current game. Winning accolades with Saracens and England across his career, which is still very much growing. Itoje will no doubt become one of the all-time greats, alongside his positive actions off the field, campaigning to end racism within rugby, and indeed all sports. Some great work being done by a great player, from an extremely successful school. Kirkham. Up north now to Kirkham Grammar, and one of the most underrated players in the Premiership, Richard Wigglesworth. 7-time Premiership winner with over 400 appearances in the league. Richard Wigglesworth has seemingly been on top form over the last 2 decades, after joining Sale fresh out of Kirkham. A pathway that has been well trodden ever since. Epsom. Back down to the capital now, and another easy choice here. Carl Sinclair burst onto the scene with Harlequins, with raw talent, aggression and fire, which has since been tamed and developed over his time in London, as well as his new career with Bristol Bears. Still, the first choice tight head for England, Sinclair also got given a place on the most recent Lions tour after injury to Andrew Porter, leaving him now with 6 Lions caps from both the 2017 All Blacks and 2021 South Africa tours. An infamous tight head prop who is at the top of his game. Brighton. Now for one of the first names on my list when I first started making this video. Marcus Smith started out his superstar career after getting flagged up by every schoolboy rugby page on social media around at Brighton College, whilst also performing to a high standard at Harlequins under 18, which then saw him propelled into the Harlequins first team, and well, we all know the rest from there. One of England's brightest stars, who still has a lot of potential left despite his already stacked rugby CV. Tonbridge. Another team who was at the top of the school rugby scene a few years ago, with this player at the forefront of their success. Ben Earl broke through with an impressive final few schoolboy years at Tonbridge, earning him call-ups to the England under-18 squad and a pro contract with Saracens, with whom, since his school years, he has certainly gone from strength to strength. Hampton. Moving swiftly across the capital now to another strong schoolboy team, Hampton. Despite his younger brother Tom thriving at Epsom, Lewis Liner's time at Hampton was equally as strong, if not stronger, serving as a catalyst as he slid into stardom, helping Harlequins lift the Premiership Rugby trophy against the odds back in 2021. 2 years previous, however, his time at Hampton wasn't as successful, failing to progress far in many tournaments such as St Joe's. But the school still achieved their best win ratio for 3 years, with Liner scoring tries almost every game. A strong sign that he was one for the future. Heading slightly further north now to Bedford School, which in the past decade has fluctuated around the midfield of the schoolboy rugby scene. However, in the midst of all of that, they've managed to create two nailed-on rugby stars in George Furbank and Fraser Dingwall, who both make it onto this list. Despite Furbank being a few years older than Dingwall, there was a point where both players starred for the Bedford School first team. The latter player, Dingwall, captaining his side to a narrow loss in what was then the NatWest Schools Trophy final, looking for back-to-back silverware. Furbank didn't have as much of a successful tenure at school, yet both players have managed to embed themselves into the heart of the Northampton Saints first team, as well as the fringes of the England national team. St Joseph's College, the team from East Anglia, which hosts arguably the biggest schoolboy rugby festival there is in the 15s game, also produce a wide range of rugby talent. Despite being dropped from Northampton Saints in his younger years at the college, he's gone on to be the current captain of the first team at Saints and be a World Cup finalist with England. Lewis Ludlam is a name to mention when talking about the team in red and white from Ipswich. Undoubtedly, the incredible win in the festival in 2013 is what stands out of what was an outstanding schoolboy rugby career from Ludlam, which has been echoed in his career at Saints. Oakham School, who once again have two standout names that we can't seem to separate. The first, Hamish Watson, the now Scottish flanker, started his career just outside of Leicester at Oakham School, terrorising the schoolboy scene with his ferocious style of play, which he has managed to carry on into his professional career with Glasgow, Scotland, and of course the British and Irish Lions. Also coming off the Oakham conveyor belt, Alex Good, a Saracen stalwart who has had cameo appearances for national side England. He's been a massive cog in the Saracens' wheel, winning trophy after trophy with the European giants, and you can hear a lot more from him in our video with Alex. Head to the link at the end of our video to give it a watch. See what we did there. Well, that's all we have time for on this video, but there are so many schools we could cover. If you want to see more, then let us know by leaving a like on this video and commenting which school we should have a look at next. My name's Will Stace, this is Young Rugby, thank you for watching.